companies and NGOs from across the country have stepped up to help alleviate the food crisis in KwaZulu-Natal. They're transporting goods as basic as bread to the province. And among those coming to the rescue is SemAir Airways. They're departing from OR Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg today to transport those much-needed supplies to affected communities in KZN. Well, Masego Rahlaga is there, and she's going to be crossing to us in a few minutes. But in the meantime, there are two bits of good news on the COVID front. In just 24 hours, over 1 million people over the age of 39, that's my age group, they registered to get vaccinated. You can see Masego's desperately trying to get ready there for us. She's standing by. But just to go back to the COVID story, my age group is signing up to get their vaccines. It's probably the biggest age group that signed up so far. Masego standing by for us at OR Tambo. Masego, thanks for joining us. Tell me what's going on.
Well, we are at the hangar here where SemAir is receiving these goods, and my colleague Teddy Munyambane will show you those goods that I'm talking about in terms of groceries. These goods are leaving from OR Tambo International Airport at 11 o'clock, eNCA, and they'll be making their way to the King Shaka International Airport, where they'll then be taken by different organizations to take to different homes. As you know already, there's been a scare in Durban. We heard the presidency yesterday saying that there wouldn't be a food or hunger problem in South Africa in 24 hours. You have private companies such as SemAir and private organizations and actually just ordinary people bringing these goods since yesterday to take them through to Durban. So these are groceries, but we've also got things such as nappies that are making their way there. Lots of tons, Annika, to tell you the truth, in terms of all the goods that have been arriving for SemAir to take to those people in Durban who are going to need them. So it's quite a relief. We're going to find out, of course, from the NGOs once we arrive at the King Shaka International Airport, Annika, about how it's going to be distributed because of the fact that, we're trying to find out exactly how the organizations are going to transport them to different areas. But I'm going to speak to the Chief Financial Officer quickly of SemAir to find out more. Her name is Laura van der Meulen, and she speaks to us now. Laura, thank you so much for your time. You're live on eNCA. Now, firstly, this has been happening, I understand, since yesterday. How did SemAir come to decide that you would assist in the province of KZN after what's been happening?
Hi, Masego. Thanks for focusing on this. It's very much needed assistance to the people of KZN. Broad area being affected. SemAir flies direct flights between Joburg and Margate on the KZN south coast. So we have been involved in this series of events over the last few days, where we've seen desperation from people trying to get out of KZN, moving from Durban south, coming to Margate Airport and trying to get back to Joburg. We were contacted by Ashraful, humanitarian organization, and asked to take some stuff down to KZN to offer some much needed support. And they've been amazing. They dropped off yesterday these 400 bags, 10 kilograms each, 4 tons of supplies, which is going to be going to KZN. And then this basically has ramped up, where there's been just an outpouring of support from organizations, individuals, everybody wanting to help, people who've got families, people not even involved with families, just wanting to support and basically offering to help and asking how can they get involved. So our work is basically to assist on a logistics perspective to get the stuff down to Durban. We've got 3 flights today. This is going to be loaded now at 11 o'clock, and it's going to be landing at King Shaka Airport this afternoon. And effectively thereafter we will assist further with our flights this afternoon, and again 1 tomorrow, and we have flights again on Sunday, which we will be assisting with. So it's just amazing to see how everybody's getting involved, and the people of South Africa pulling together to assist where help is needed.
Thank you so much. That was Laura van der Meulen. She is the Chief Financial Officer of SEMA. And as you can see outside, Annika, those are the flights that will be making their way throughout the course of the weekend, starting from today. As you heard her, there'll be a flight going out there at 11 o'clock. We'll be on that flight that's going to Durban at 11 o'clock. There'll be another one later this afternoon, and of course tomorrow. And as you heard from Laura, there'll be another one again at on Sunday sometime in the morning. So much needed relief, especially since you heard, I mean, even the king, the Zulu king, Misuzulu, you know, we heard people were even teasing him on Twitter. He was late for his own address to speak to the Zulu nation. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, because he was struggling to find fuel. So there's also food shortage. People are panic buying. So this will come as a huge relief for those, especially who say they can't access bread because of the unrest and the looting that's happened in the stores there in KZN.
Masego, when you've got a minute, will you try and find out where some of those distribution points are in Joburg so that we can tell our viewers where to drop off those much needed supplies?
Definitely. I know, I'll just confirm also with Laura if you want me to do that, but I know that they told me this morning, the marketing manager of SEMA told me this morning, and this is where we are right now. Individuals, anybody can come to the SEMA hangar at the OR Tambo International Airport. I've been seeing them dropping off goods, and they also, for instance, just weigh them as they arrive. So let me ask Laura very quickly. Laura, while I still have you, they just want to know, my colleague Annika just wants to know how people in Joburg can come drop off stuff. Is it any individual that can come drop off, and where do they go? Do they come here to drop off whatever they want to help with?
I think the best thing is that we actually coordinate this effort through the actual humanitarian organizations, because they have the ability to basically coordinate everything and then bring it here for consolidation and for dispatch. So I would suggest that we get in touch, and Ashraf or humanitarian organization accept the packages, and then we can coordinate and basically get those to where it's needed. Same thing on the other side. They're going to basically distribute to the places needed to make sure that it gets to those families that are in need, and that it doesn't get lost on the way, because that is a very important factor, that people know that when they're donating something, it's going to be used in the right way and it's going to get to those people who actually need it.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. So, Annika, I hope that answers your question in terms of the drop-offs. She says that rather speak to the humanitarian organizations, find out from them who is able to come here to drop off some stuff, and it'll be consolidated and dropped off here so that it can make its way to KZN.
Maseko Rakhlacha, thank you so much. About to get on a Mercy flight with desperately needed staple food items to KZN from Joburg. And we'll try and do our bit as broadcasters and put up some of those collection points hopefully later on in the day. So those of you who want to drop off those goods for flight to KZN can help too.